Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Uh, last time I think Emmy got better and she invited us to dinner at her mommy house and the nurse was not invited. But I think that the nurse and her mom have a thing going. I don't like riding buses. I don't think I like riding buses. I'm not sure. I haven't quite formed an opinion on it. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that is a fact. Oh, just kidding. They sway a lot and they smell funny, and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetics so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat and avoid eye contact so that we don't look like we know each other, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares, either that or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd notice anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Another fact is I'm not just uncomfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away. Oh yeah, he has some kinda... He's insecure. The nurse said she'd trust me, even if it doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure I can trust the nurse. And I don't think he can trust me. And I don't think anyone can trust anyone. No one is ever telling the truth, and everyone is a liar. He's protective of Emmy, just like I'm protective of Emmy, and I'd be likely to say something to make her look good if someone asked me about her. That's stupid. So he might just be doing that. Still, there was something about the way he seemed genuinely surprised that Emmy invited me along. Maybe last night's talk helped more than I think, but I'm still worried. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Eh. Guess it depends. Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, and that was just as an acquaintance. But that was just as an acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend with everything that implies. I don't think she's the kind of mom that care that you guys fuck. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, an echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now, or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape. Oh, but it's not that easy. People are a lot harder to deal with than physical ailments. They're like a whole other set of physical ailments. Well, we're here. Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we've stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we've got a couple blocks until my place. What? Oh, okay. What do you mean, what? You know why you're here. Follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often? Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never been much for playing hostess. Oh yeah? Well, then I feel special. Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. The sudden and unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard, and from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. Can't imagine what that means. Oh, your mom prefers solitude? Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father or from finding my statement actually funny. Not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know?
She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way, or so she says.
Clearly, she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone.
Nervous, Hisao? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all.
Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? Maybe she's never had a boyfriend to bring home.
Did you ever consider that, Hisao?
I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emmy's past relationships. I don't even know if there were past relationships.
No, I guess I haven't. Hey, maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all.
Oh good, now I feel twice as nervous. Though to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear I'm the first one. Hoo. Maybe we've got something special after all, as high schoolers. Bolstered by this new thought, I've managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door.
Hey, Mom, open up! We're here!
The door swings open and Mrs. Ibarazaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emmy's. It's almost like they're related. I'm never going to get used to that.
You know, people normally wait for a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away. Ha, of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you.
Now get in the kitchen! An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it is only then that Emmy's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here.
Oh, and hello to you too, Hisao. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit.
Ah, yes. You've finished up your exams, haven't you? That must be quite a relief for you both.
Certainly a weight off my mind, that's for sure.
Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone.
If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest.
Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams.
Certainly Emmy's mother knows something I don't, or rather she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting being able to observe how Mrs. Ibarazaki covers for Emmy, that protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. Is that an instinct, or is that just a learned social behavior? I suppose Emmy's got more in common with quarks than I ever realized. Fucking nerd. Moves around fast, impossible to understand through direct observation, yet she has an effect on everyone she encounters. I wonder if Mrs. Ibarazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything a secret from everybody?
Yeah, it's not as bad this year as it in the past. Hisao helped me to stay focused.
Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day, and she told me more than once that the morning runs was the only thing that she looked forward to during exams. So maybe it's not that much of a lie. Maybe it's just partially a lie. Maybe she only partially doesn't love me. Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she is as surprised as I am.
Well, then it appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I'd tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hisao, but it looks like you're already doing that.
Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to integrate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's gotten me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was, even before. I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor had I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pick-up games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckle quietly, then realize that I never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at a school here. It comes out so casually. There was a time that I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now, Naoji seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mother. If Emmy can be so cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet where Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, I know, but even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary.
Emmy has a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it.
Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters.
I'm not sure that she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. Not surprised. Just kidding, I can't read. If Rin weren't as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too. Oh, that reminds me. Rin says hello.
I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we moved into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has produced is impressive.
Whoa, you made enough to feed an army in here. Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go.
That sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home cooked would be a welcome change of pace.
What he said. Thanks, Mom.
The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emmy assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself.
So, Hisao, I hear that you and my daughter have gotten rather close.
Yep, I've been in every hole. The urge to say something like, not really, is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control. We are close, there's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard rather than considering something cruel. I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself.
You make it sound like it's a bad thing, Hisao. Well, I for one found it a relief.
Why's that?
Well, Emmy doesn't have any friends, so I get very worried about her. Emmy's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends.
Oh, that's actually what she said. This is a bit of news to me. I've always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways, and certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but it is true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Ren and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. And again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, but I can't say I'm that surprised.
I was beginning to have my doubts.
Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh?
What?
What's that you just said?
Nothing.
Mrs. Ibarazaki chokes on her drink with laughter.
You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm going to have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter.
Somehow I don't think that would be very effective.
I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Don't listen to her, Hisao. She's a born liar. Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point.
What? You traitor! You're supposed to take my side in this.
Yeah, but you did lie about your leg after the meet. Ow! A kick in the shins from an unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but now, not before Mrs. Ibarazaki's eyebrows shoot upwards.
What about your leg? It wasn't a big deal, that's all. I was just in a wheelchair for a bit.
The last few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she has experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face.
So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately.
Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak.
Well, of course. She spent enough time in a chair just after the accident.
She didn't get prosthetics immediately?
No, she had to finish up healing before they let her start that sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since she wanted to run on them.
I had no idea. How would you? Nobody told you, and you're not a psychic.
Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival?
Any sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother.
No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet. It seems pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what she's going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike or trying to make it dreamlike. Rin's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood.
That is incorrect. I think that's literally her entire arc is being understood.
She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't understand otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way.
I'm surprised that Emmy's talked about this with Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation.
Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask.
Huh?
Are you going to visit your father this year?
From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's just been slapped in the face.
Can we talk about this later?
Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Mrs. Ibarazaki misjudged how close Emmy and I are. Some things it seems are best not conversed about with me around. Her father is one of these things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things. If her reaction to the earlier conversation between her and myself is any indication, her mother and myself. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she's screwed up.
Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I could make plans. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Emmy fidgets nervously as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. Why would anyone react that way whenever their dad is dead? She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening was suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought or claimed.
I'll be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room and cry privately away from wondering eyes.
Amy gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Ibarazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her or should I stay here? It's obvious that Amy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her and I have to know what it is. Oh no. Uh, I feel like this decision is important. I feel like I should go after her. But I also don't want to. I want to. She needs space, but she needs not too much space. Uh, 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 I'm gonna go after her. I feel like that you shouldn't do this. If somebody goes to the bathroom to cry, you don't go after them if they're in a safe spot. Let them cry. They went out of the way because they don't want you. You can go talk to them afterwards whenever it's not freaking everywhere. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. I excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, only to catch sight of Emmy not in the bathroom, but in the kitchen just next to the living room. Emmy's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding on to the table in an attempt to compose herself, an effort that fails as soon as I open my mouth. Doesn't look like the nature's call was that urgent. Emmy jumps and glares at me.
What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with other people.
I just wanted to help you. You look pretty rattled.
I said it was nothing, didn't I? And besides, I thought we'd established that you can't help me.
No, we've established that you're stubborn. I can fix everything. I'm a white knight.
Look who's talking, the guy who followed me.
This is different. I want to help you with whatever this is.
Funny, because I just want you to leave me alone.
But why? Why can't you trust me?
We've been over this already, Hisao. I've got to deal with this stuff on my own.
I won't accept that. You need my help, and you just won't take it. My wording seems to have been a little off.
Need? I need your help? Well, it's a good thing we met, isn't it? Because otherwise, I guess I'd just be a broken human being, wouldn't I? No, it's a damn good thing that Hisao came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just a poor, emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right?
I mean, you know I don't think that.
Really? Because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here saying I need your help. I've gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you.
So what? Nothing we've shared was important? I'm just the guy who hangs out with you?
I mean, fucking pretty much, dumbass. You're my boyfriend, Hisao, not my savior.
Well, no, that much is obvious. You won't even consider that I could be a help to you, will you? You'll just bottle it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems, and you'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better. That's not being a healthy human being, Emmy. That's not what a relationship means. Uh-oh, Hisao has a point. I don't like it when I agree with Hisao. He's a dumbass.
Well, it's what it means to me right now, Hisao. I wish...
She seems to reconsider her words just then, a flicker of pain, of doubt on her face. For a moment, I think she's about to cry. But the moment passes, and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was will have to go unspoken.
Look, I can't do this right now.
What? Have a serious conversation? Be open? Be honest? Give a damn about anyone besides yourself and your problems?
What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do.
I know you have nightmares, and I know your father's gone. What happened to him? Did you kill him? Where is he? Emmy's head jerks backwards as if I've just slapped her. That brittle quality has gotten back to her voice.
That's enough.
This is stupid. This whole conversation has just been variations of Emmy stonewalling me. What? You won't even answer that question? Fine. Keep your secrets. They can lie in the grave as far as I'm concerned. Oh! He's so... Oh! Not that wording. Emmy's eyes widen in shock. When she speaks again, it's in a voice that is low, dangerous.
Get out of my house, Hisao.
Why is she smiling? This is weird. This is a weird face. The sudden change in her tone snaps me out of my self-righteous anger and makes me realize with a dawning horror what I've just said. Emmy, I didn't mean...
Get the fuck out of my house, Hisao! Tell my mother that she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior engagement, and get out of my house.
She's trembling now, shaking with anger, or sadness, or determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. I reach out to put an arm on her shoulder, to apologize for going too far, but she jerks away from my touch.
Get out!
What can I do? I walk out of the kitchen and go to the living room. Whoa. Okay. Make my apology to Mrs. Ibarazaki and let myself out. There's more? I was gonna say, well, I very clearly made the wrong choice there. I still may have. I did get kicked out of her house. I don't ever know. This game is so weird. It makes you choose the things that are like literally the worst decisions and then acts like it was a good thing. Every time I have been made to make a decision, I'm like, why would you ever do this? You should never do this. Why does this lead to the good end? That doesn't make any sense. Except for like Hanako, maybe, and Lily. The rest of them, dumb, don't make no sense.
All right, well, I'm going to leave that off there. I'm still not sure that I haven't got the bad ending. And if this ends up being short, I'll just boop it on to the end of the next one. But until then,